Hey guys, what's up? Jayhan here. I'm a video game vocalist and a video game concert producer, and I am back with another reaction video. This is the first reaction video that I'm doing in the year 2026, and we're gonna be reacting to a song called Golden by K-pop Demon Hunters. So this is gonna be a little bit different from what I usually do because, as many of you know, I do reaction videos of, well, so far I've been doing reaction videos of video game music, but to be very honest with you guys, I love animation. And I'm a huge fan of cartoons. I'm a huge fan of anime in general. And you know, even some of my cover songs are related to anime music and cartoon music. So I am considering doing reaction videos that are not just limited to video game music, but also to anime and cartoon music. And I think it would be pretty cool because, again, I really love cartoons and anime. And this song has been all over the place. It just recently won a Grammy for best songwriting for visual media or something like that. And now an Oscar for best song of the year. I've actually already seen K-pop Demon Hunters, and it is a really, really great movie. I really enjoyed it. And I remember when I heard this song for the first time, I was like, what? What the heck? Is this for real? So yeah, I am really excited to pick the song apart and kind of like analyze the vocal performances. You all know which part I'm talking about, but also the songwriting. So another reason why I really wanted to react to this song is because I've been asked or requested to perform this song at an event. You can maybe understand a little bit my nervousness when it comes to performing this song. So the whole point of this video is, for me as a vocalist, as a performer, I need to see if this song is possible to sing live. Yeah, this song is not easy. So I haven't really had the chance to kind of like really analyze it and understand how the vocalists do it. But I feel like this is the perfect occasion to kind of like really pick the song apart, analyze the vocal performances, and see how this can be applied to live performances. So you all know what comes next. Grab your favorite drink. I've got some chamomile tea mixed with honey and some additional herbs. I'm a little bit under the weather. It's quite cold here in Switzerland, so this is perfect for my throat. Without further ado, guys, let us dive right into K-pop Demon Hunters Golden, performed by EJ, Audrey Nuna, and Ray Ami. Okay.
I was a ghost, I was alone. 두어진 길 속에 Given the throne, I didn't know how to believe I was the queen that I'm meant to be. I lived two lives, tried to play both sides, but I couldn't find my own place. Caught a pet child, 'cause I got too wild, but now that's how I'm getting paid. 끝없이 on stage, I'm done hiding, now I'm shining like I'm born to be. We dream it hard, we came so far, now I believe. We're going up, it's our moment. You know together we're glowing, gonna be golden. Up with our voices, no one can get us so on it. Gonna be golden. I'm done hiding, now I'm shining like I'm born to be.
That's so crazy!
Time, no fears, no lies, that's who we're born to be.
My God. All right, let's stop here. Oh, my gosh, what the heck? What the absolute heck? Wait, hold on. Let me just check something, right? I have to be certain of this. What? Holy shit. Are you... Wait. This can't... No, wait. Huh? Holy shit. This is an A. She friggin' belted an... Okay, all right. Okay, let's... A lot to unpack here. Wow, holy shit. What really, really astounds me, right? Right off the bat, vocal performance, holy shit. Holy shit. Okay, before we get into the vocals, let's kind of like rewind and talk about this song. This song is basically introduced as the song from the K-pop girl group Huntrix, composed of Rumi, Mira, and Zoe. And they kind of like lead double lives, right? On the one side, they're these superstar K-pop girl group, and on the other side, they are actually demon hunters, and they hunt demons with the goal of protecting the souls of the humans from a bad guy called the Guima, I believe. And in order to keep these souls protected, a magical barrier is set up by these first demon hunters, like many hundreds and hundreds years ago, called the Hanmoon. And so the whole point of this song is to introduce it to the population so that their energy would feed basically this Hanmoon. And so this song, Golden, it becomes this K-pop hit. And it is so loved by the population that the K-pop group begins to prepare for the performance of that song. At the same time, and this is spoiler territory, we find out that the lead singer, Rumi, a part of her is actually of demon origin. The whole goal is that with this song, they want to not only maintain the Hanmoon, but create this sort of golden Hanmoon that would be the final seal that would basically permanently banish the demons. And in doing so, would get rid of her demonic origin as well. She has these demon patterns and she hides them, and not even her friends know about it. And what's really important to note is that as they prepare for this final performance that would basically put into place, like set up the golden Hanmoon, Rumi begins to lose her voice. And when you think about this song, like, honestly, I am not surprised. But yeah, so this is basically the whole context of this song, right? All right, so now that we have this song kind of like out of the way, let's talk now more about the songwriting and the vocal performance. So the setup here is pretty amazing because we see that there's this countdown happening. Everybody's excited for this song to come out. And then I was a ghost, I was alone. Iduojin apkilsoke, in a darkened road ahead. This part is about Rumi, about how she had to struggle on her own, alone, with, her path in life. Because she has this secret that she has had to keep hidden in herself and away from her friends or any other person. She really didn't want people to find out, for good reason, that she had some demonic origins. As we get into the Korean language, and I love that there's the Korean songwriting in this as well, we see that she's kind of like running through this forest, lost and confused, and it's, she's afraid and terrified. And it kind of like comments on really how much she struggles with having this demonic side of her. She talks about, like, given a throne, I didn't know how to believe I was the queen that I'm meant to be. And that talks about the pressure of being this leader of the demon hunters, Huntrix, not just like as a pop stars, but also demon hunters. She highlights loneliness and having massive amounts of responsibilities, even a little bit of pressure. She is given this throne And it would sound like it's an incredible honor, but in this part, she sounds like she is actually still in disbelief. We move on to the next part. We move to Zoe, who talks about two lives. We clearly see that the first part is in, definitely South Korea, probably Seoul. And then another part, which is more in Los Angeles. Here she highlights two cultures that are kind of like in conflict, which is why kind of like she's being pulled from one side to another. And that's highlighted in the lyrics. I lived two lives, tried to play both sides, but I couldn't find my own place. So she was really torn between, either living in, like, choosing where to live, but also torn between the two cultures, very opposing cultures, the culture, like Korean culture and Western American culture. And just want to add, I can't really remember Zoe's background, but given that there are two people that are pulling her in different, in opposite directions, one side being from Los Angeles and the other side being probably Seoul or South Korea, what I can imagine is that probably she had parents who were divorced, and one went to live in South Korea and the other went to stay in Los Angeles. So, and that's where, that's where she says, I tried to play both sides. So just kind of like being torn between these two, between these two sides. So now she was like, okay, that's it. I'm going to find my own place. I don't want to spend my life being torn that way. And I really just need to highlight this. This is really kind of like a very neat little detail. You see Zoe, she's holding onto a record. In both cases, one time she's in Seoul and in the other side, she's in Los Angeles. But as soon as these two arms and hands try to grab her from both sides and pull her in opposite directions, she drops the record. And the fact that she's holding the record so close to her means that she loves music and this is so important to her. So the fact that this conflict being pulled in both directions highlights it got in the way of her love for music. So this is a really, really cool detail. And so as a result, you see her, she breaks from their grip and then just kind of like uses a skateboard to go in her own direction and to find her own place, which is really, really a cool detail. Then we move on to Mira. And Mira, in her case, now this is something really, really cool because you see the way this is framed is a family picture, right? And you see the family behind, they're kind of like in this sort of dark shade, and you have Mira in the front, all full of colors. And there's already, again, there's this kind of like conflict that you see between family and Mira. And she is described as a problem child. Called a problem child because I got too wild, but now that's how I'm getting paid. KPop on stage, so eternally on stage. And here Mira highlights the problem of being so different and being so much in conflict with people who don't agree with her that now she kind of like owns up to who she is, and now she is a star. It's kind of like a really cool way of accepting who you are as a person and now actually being successful for not changing who you are, staying true to yourself. Clearly, the parents, they're not accepting of how she is. She's, a wild child, I guess. And this is the part that I love so much. Right here, she embraces her wild attitude and breaks away from the kind of like the structure, the frame that her family tried to put her in. She embraces her wild side, even at the cost of, losing her family, I guess, because they don't want to accept her wild side. And then here, I'm done hiding, now I'm shining, like I'm born to be. We dreaming hard, we came so far, now I believe. This is really, really, that's what I'm talking about. Of course, I feel like this is more about Rumi trying to find a way, to accept herself and to show her who she is despite the demonic origin that she has. But same thing can be said also for Mira and Zoe, who both have backgrounds that, a background full of conflict and either trying to find their place or being accepted, being socially accepted. And this is one of the driving themes of this song, being accepted despite the past that one has, despite the negative background one might have, or even no matter how different we are, that we become socially accepted. And then we go to the chorus. Oh my gosh, this part it's really, really hard, that part. We're going up, up, up. It's our moment. Together we're glowing. Gonna be golden. Oh, up, up, up with our voices. 영원히 계속. So, sorry for the pronunciation, but it means unbreakable forever. So meaning that fully embracing who we are as human beings, standing by what we believe in, being unbreakable in that sense. And then in the context of this, of the movie, you have to be really firm in your beliefs, because if your belief wavers, then in the case demons, they'll find a way to manipulate and make the most out of your weakness, and try to bring you down. So really kind of like standing your ground and being firm in who you are and what you believe in. And then after, like, holy crap, like this part, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. Like, okay, when we just get back to the lyrics, right? Oh, I'm done hiding. Now I'm shining like I'm born to be. Oh, our time, no fears, no lies. That's who we're born to be, basically. So really kind of like embracing who we are and like being better than what our past could make us out to be. It's so cool. It's so cool. And this applies really to everybody. Like anybody who listens to this song can really relate to it, because it really highlights the struggles that we as human beings can face in terms of like having a difficult background, being different from others, feeling alone, feeling not accepted. And this kind of song is so uplifting. And, the fact that it's uplifting so much so that, the way this song is written is that going so high up, it's just like in the vocal performance, is just so crazy to me. So let us quickly talk about the vocal performance of EJ. As I've mentioned already before, I have already heard this song once while watching the movie. And it's the chorus is crazy. The chorus and the end of the chorus are probably some of the more vocally challenging segments of any song out there, because you're basically starting on a T-do. We're going up, 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 it's our moment. That alone is vocally quite demanding, because you are literally on the edge of what you call the chest voice and where the head voice is supposed to start. So chest voice, for those who don't know, is the tone of your voice when you speak normally, right? This, on the other hand, is supposed to be in your head voice. So head voice being like the higher register, the almost kind of like the area where you find more operatic sounds. So, in other words, you're starting off your chorus with belting a T and then an E, okay? E is already very high for a belting range. Other kind of like famous vocalists, they can do that, but it's very challenging to belt such a note. And this is why I want to say that this song is studio produced. I'm not saying it's not possible to perform this song live. It is possible, but you have to be extra careful, because if you take the wrong approach, you can really strain your voice and you can maybe cause some vocal dysfunction, and you'd have to, spend a lot of time recovering from that vocal performance. And I think this is also the reason why this song is so interesting in the context of that movie, because that song is vocally very, very demanding. And it can be a partial reason for why Rumi loses her voice leading up to the preparation of that performance. It puts so much pressure on your vocal folds if you are not careful, if you do not pay attention to how you're supposed to perform that song. And it gets even better, I guess. And that's the part that's really super impressive. It goes on to, we're not just stopping here. We're going, I'm done hiding, now I'm shining like I'm born to be. It is not easy to do that. It is super hard. And so when I'm listening to this and I'm like, you want to do this live? You want to practice doing this live? You're going to lose your voice. You're going to lose your voice if you don't practice right. It's really, really very, very hard sequence because basically you're belting a la. This is an insane height for belting. Usually you want to switch already to head voice starting from the fa, okay? Or if you really want to go for it, it is possible to belt high, but you would have to be really careful because your belting does not just become chest belting. You implement some head voice into your belting, and that's what we call mixing belting. You use your mixed voice, head voice and chest voice, you combine it, and you belt it out in a very high range. That's how EJ is able to hit a la of all notes. So you have to be really not only patient with the way you practice this song, but you have to be super conscious of how you shape your vowels, how you implement the head voice into your belting. And it's crazy. It is such a crazy skill to have. And, when you're part of this super popular K-pop group like the Huntrix, there's a lot of pressure that comes in the preparation of this performance. So, of course, lots of pressure means not really preparing things right. I mean, of course, there's always the emotional aspect that plays into it, where it could prevent you from reaching the notes that you need to reach. But this song is super challenging. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they perform this song, but at a lower register, because that's one way to kind of spare your vocals from being too worn out. It is super, super challenging. But man, it's really insane. It's really, really cool. I love this. And clearly, the fans love it too. All right, let's keep on going here with the next segment.
Waited so long to break these walls down, to wake up and feel like me.
Oh, there we go.
These patterns all in the past now, and finally live like the girl they all see. No more hiding, now be shining.
Oh, and the outfits. I love it.
'Cause we are hunters, voices strong, and I know I believe we're going up, it's our moment.
Oh, man.
Gonna be golden. Up, with our voices. Gonna get
So
you so
good.
Gonna be golden. I'm done hiding, now I'm shining like I'm born to be.
I have to talk about this because like I think another reason why people love this so much is not just because of like the vocal performance, it's the context of like achieving the impossible. That's what this song conveys so much, not just like through the lyrics, but through the actual performance, because that vocal line is very hard, and when you achieve it, you feel like this overwhelming sense of accomplishment. You're like, hell yeah, I got this, I did this, you know? Oh my gosh, like EJ, what the absolute hell is this? What the heck? Her mixing belt is insane. It's insane. A fucking la. A fucking la. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's really, really not easy at all, at all. Okay, let's get back into the lyrics. Waited so long to break these walls down. Like, that's so beautiful. That delivery is so vulnerable and emotional when you listen.
Waited so long
You hear the airiness of the vocals in there as well.
break these walls down to wake up and feel like me.
Yeah, and as she kind of like reveals her patterns, you know, and I think it's so smart, like the songwriting in this segment, because she reveals her patterns, right? And these are the patterns they're the reason why she is, you know, unhappy. She feels like this is a stigma that is weighing her down, and that could actually literally mean the end of her if people found out.
Put these patterns all in the past.
And when I say the songwriting is so smart, we can interpret patterns as talking about like patterns that like habits or patterns that we have in present day that are caused from things that we experienced in the past. You know, perfect example, you experience something traumatic in the past, and as a result, you experience PTSD moments, you know, like you have panic attacks, for example, things that you cannot control, right? And these are patterns of what we have experienced in the past, and which may influence who we are as a person, and which may even define us. And for Rumi in this case, she really wants these patterns to disappear, to get out of her life, basically, to get rid of these patterns and, you know, to move on and not be defined by something that was basically, you know, passed down to her.
Now and finally live like the girl they all
Exactly.
see.
Finally live like the girl they all see. So basically, just because you have these patterns, that doesn't mean that's how you are as a person. You are, and that's what Rumi is dealing with. And this is something that we all relate to on a very personal level. And I think that's why this song resonates with, you know, not only just the crowd in the movie, but also with us as people. We have sometimes we have a lot of baggage that we carry with us, and it takes a lot of work and, you know, on ourselves to let go of those baggages, right?
No more high.
And I feel like this part is really, really well done as well, because in the lyrics she sings, "No more hiding, I'll be shining." But she does that as she pulls her coat over her shoulders, covering her patterns, her demonic patterns.
I'll be shining like I'm born to be.
And it's so sad because, like, you know, when I remember watching this part, I'm like, these patterns look so cool on her. And the fact that she associates that with some sort of like a stigma, that's so sad, you know, like that it has this sort of negative connotation. And she's trying so hard to, you know, get rid of that so that she is the great person that she was born to be. But the reality is that, you know, these patterns, they are a part of you, and they might be actually the reason why you are so great. And it's kind of like this, a little bit of a double entendre, as we say it in French, kind of like a double understanding where, the patterns, are part, it's kind of like something that she inherited, but it's also kind of like behavioral patterns that could also be understood as that. Like there's so much to, in the lyrics, you can interpret this however you want, however you relate to it, like whatever makes you relate to it the most. And that's what I find so amazing about this song. EJ and whoever else worked on this song as songwriters, they really, really did an amazing job with this. It's so beautiful, this song. It's so empowering for people, I think especially people of this generation who are more outspoken and outgoing and more embracing their true selves.
Hiding, I'll be shining like I'm born to be.
And this part, right?
'Cause we are hunters, voices strong, and I know I believe we're going
Oh my God! What the heck? What the heck? Okay, we get back to the chorus, but this transition here is freaking hard. It is hard because EJ in this sequence, she is belting. She maintains that belting. I know I'll believe we're going up. And what's even harder is that she starts at a higher note. She starts at a G for the second chorus. We're going up, it's our moment. That's hard. That's hard. Like, very honest with you guys. I think like the parts I can sing okay-ish, but when I have to prepare for the entire song, there's this vocal stamina that needs to be built. It is pretty hard to do, and you need a lot of time, and that requires a lot of patience as well, and being also very forgiving to yourself if you can't reach that note. It takes so much work and so much skill. This segment, let's hear it again, because she starts here.
'Cause we are hunters, voices strong, and I know I believe we're going up.
She doesn't even breathe. She doesn't even breathe. She goes like, I know I believe we're going up. It's like, this is not easy. This is really not easy. It's so not easy. But that's why this song is also so amazing, because this song is basically the embodiment of achieving the impossible. A La and a G in the belting range is not easy. I know I'm repeating myself, but I really, I'm saying this because it's really not easy to accomplish that. And EJ does it so flawlessly. Like, it's so amazing. And I know that, I'm pretty sure this song has been worked and reworked, but now I'm actually curious, because now I want to actually listen to a live performance of that, because I really have to listen to a live performance. And then we gotta keep going. My gosh, I'm glad it's just only one time that they do this final segment, because if she had to do it one more time, I feel like her voice would be done. Because like, we're gonna be golden, we're gonna be Like, that's the La in the octave below, and she does dum da. That's really high. That's really high. It's so insane. It's so freaking insane. I love it. I love it. But yeah, this is incredible songwriting, incredible vocal performance. But like I said, I am curious to know if EJ can actually reproduce, like perform this song live, because it's really, really complicated. Like, this was clearly meant to be like a studio production, because trying to perform this song live, it's very, very, very hard, because it has this sort of like, you need to maintain stability, you need to maintain your stamina when you belt these high parts. It's just like really, really pretty crazy. But when listening to the song and you fit it in the context of a movie, it's so good. But what I also love is, again, this whole personal touch to it, in terms of like talking about the characters, the different characters of this K-pop band Huntrix, and seeing how their own past has, you know, breaking away from that past has allowed them to kind of like propel them into what they do now, into the future, them being K-pop superstars, but also these demon hunters. The only person that doesn't seem to have broken away from that is still Rumi, but I think it's more a question of finally being able to embrace that. And I think in the context of the movie, the story of the movie is the moment she accepts herself, that's when she can hit those notes again. That's when she overcomes her vocal and emotional struggles. This is really, really, really cool. Really, really cool. Yeah, I have been asked to perform this song, and when I listen to it and when I try to analyze it, it is really, really hard, but it is a good challenge to try, you know, as long as I am patient with myself. And again, you have to be forgiving, because this song is very, very hard. And be forgiving if you can't reach those high notes yet, or if you can't like maintain this stamina throughout this whole performance. It's such an insane song, but I love it. I love it. It's a really, really cool challenge. It is such an amazing song, and I can definitely understand the hype for it. And I definitely think it deserves the nominations, the recognition, and the awards that it's getting. Really, really, really cool. Really amazing. I feel like there's a lot in regards to the performers that I don't know about, maybe even some of the production details as well. So if you guys know anything about this, I'd love to hear what you guys think about it. If you know anything about the behind the scenes, share your thoughts in the comments below. And yeah, let me know if this is something that you really like to see more often on this YouTube channel. Like, I love video game music, but I also love anime music and cartoon. Many of you may know this, but I grew up on cartoons, like American cartoons, and especially like cartoons that had this sort of hard rock opening themes. And they kind of like influenced the way that I would sometimes write my music, but also my vocal performances. Even though there's this one hard rock vocalist called Johnny Joeli, who really is my biggest influence as a hard rock vocalist and performer. Yeah, so this has been really, really cool. This has been really cool to discover and to analyze. So guys, let me know, what did you think about this song? What do you think of this insane vocal performance, the songwriting, the way the music video was done, and how it fits into the movie? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know if there are any other animation or film music or video game music you want me to react to. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you on the next reaction video. Bye-bye!